We're at the Cote de Coeur Grand Tasting, and we have here Shane Finley, who is Associate Winemaker at Kosta Browne. Now, just a bit of background, when it comes to Pinot Noir makers in California, Kosta Browne is right at the top of the heap. This is the biggest of the big dogs. And so Shane is actually on the inside. And Shane, perhaps you could show us the wine you're serving tonight.
Sure, this is our 2008 Gaps Crown Pinot Noir.
Gaps Crown Pinot Noir from the Sonoma Coast.
Correct.
Tell us about this wine.
So this is the first vintage of Gaps Crown that we produce as a single vineyard. In 07 and 06 it was part of our Sonoma Coast program. It's in a sub-appellation of Sonoma Coast called Petaluma Wind Gap, or the Petaluma Gap. It's very cold, very breezy. Creates really small-berried, very intense, firm, structured Pinot Noir, very dark, fruited wine, a lot of blue fruits, a lot of black fruits, good tannin structure, very deep, dark, brooding kind of Pinot Noir.
What kind of food would you serve this with?
I think it goes well with game. You can put it with some venison, pork, things like that. It even works well with, like bigger chicken and things like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me about Kosta Browne. What other wines do you produce, and how is this one the same or different from those?
Well, just quickly, history on Kosta Browne. It was started by Michael Brown and Dan Costa in the late 90s, focusing on Pinot Noir. They were both restaurateurs, sommeliers, and they collected tip money to get the winery going. They made their first barrel in 1997. They didn't, and then they started getting going commercially around 2000. And they were focused really on Russian River Valley Pinot Noir. So we make predominantly Russian River Valley Pinot Noir. We make Sonoma Coast, and then we make some wines from Santa Lucia Highlands, which is down around Monterey. This wine is Gaps Crown Sonoma Coast. We make 4 Russian River single vineyards, another Sonoma Coast single vineyard, and then 3 Santa Lucia single vineyards, plus a Russian River appellation and a Sonoma Coast appellation.
And what about yourself? How did you end up at Kosta Browne? You must have come through some other wineries on the way.
I did, yes. I actually met Michael Brown in 2003 when I was working at Cotes Wines in their custom crush facility. Michael was working for Deerfield Ranch. He was the winemaker for them. He and I became friends. He left after the 2003 vintage. Deerfield Ranch moved to Kenwood. We were located in Santa Rosa, northern part of Sonoma County. I stayed at Cotes, and then in 05 I went to work for Paul Hobbs. I was assistant winemaker for them, and then I came to work for Kosta Browne in 06. Prior to all that experience, I worked in France for a year in the Northern Rhone, and I worked for Torbreck in the Baroque.